Hello everybody! Welcome back. SideQuest Gamer here, and today's a very nice day outside. I mean, look out my window. It's so nice outside. So I decided, what better way to spend a beautiful day like this than reviewing video games? Well, today, you gamers out there are going to want to see this review. Today, we're looking at a Nintendo 64 title by the name of Pokemon Snap. That's right, folks. Since this is a Pokemon review, please get your friends to watch this and subscribe, hopefully. But the question is Pokemon Snap as good as people say it is? Well, let's roll the footage and see if it lives up to my standards. Before I start this review, I have to admit I am not the biggest Pokemon fan. Nothing against it, but I just never understood it as a kid, and I only played Pokemon Stadium on my Nintendo 64. My friends loved the anime, but I never watched it. Just didn't appeal to me back then, since I was more into cartoons like Johnny Test and the Batman. And I hated how the Pokemon said their names over and over in the anime. They didn't do that in the handheld games. They just did an 8-bit roar. And I'm sorry to say that I do not like Pikachu for that exact reason. I honestly don't get why he became so popular in the franchise. I mean, when I catch him, I don't use him until I get a Thunderstone and then evolve him into a more serious looking Raichu. So I apologize to any Pikachu fans out there, but I have my own tastes. It wasn't until I got my first ever Game Boy Advance when I was 16 years old and bought all of my friends' Pokemon games that they didn't play anymore. I first played Sapphire and Ruby, and later I got Fire Red and Leaf Green for $10 each. I love those games, and I still have them. They're very immersive, and even if it's basic, so is Mario, and yet we all love Mario for being basic. Mostly. Until it becomes copy and paste for the next sequel and it gets redundant. But then when video game franchises like Sonic the Hedgehog get complicated, they tend to lose fans. Now don't get me wrong, I love Sonic, and its 3D games are not as bad as people say it is. I'd say Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations are grade A 3D platformers. But before I get sidetracked, let's talk about Pokemon Snap. It's a spin-off developed by HAL Laboratories and Pax Softnica, and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64 system. It was released in March 21st, 1999 in Japan, and July 26th of the same year in North America. Unlike the games, you don't capture nor battle your Pokemon. You take pictures of Pokemon in a literally on-rails motion. Pokemon Snap goes against everything that the Pokemon franchise established in the handheld titles. I mean, Stadium was all about battling Pokemon, and that did it really well. But I will go on record by saying that this, by far, is the most fun I've had taking pictures in a video game. The story is basically Professor Oak providing you, the photographer, to ride around in the protected 01 vehicle that goes on rails while you take photos of Pokemon in their environments and how they interact with it. The closer the Pokemon is, the better the shot and the more points you get awarded from Professor Oak. After taking photos of Pokemon in a level, you present your photos of each type and he will award you points based on how close the Pokemon is, and the closer the better, what the Pokemon is doing in the shot, and whether the Pokemon is in the center of the frame. You're also awarded more points if other Pokemon are in the shot. All the points come together in a total score, and the higher your score is, the more equipment you get. For example, you'll get apples to throw at Pokemon to lure them in a specified area, or just to feed them, or even hit them for some sadistic reason. And yes, I did hit Jigglypuff with an apple while it was singing at the end of the cave level. And then, just for giggles, I took a picture of it squinting in pain. And then when I showed that picture to Professor Oak, he said, "That's unfortunate." Presumably sarcastically, and then he awarded me some points. I gotta say, great lesson to teach your kids, Nintendo.
You also get a pest ball that makes some Pokemon get away from it and potentially closer for a better shot. You later get a boost pack for the 01 vehicle to speed up on the rails, and you also get a flute to drive some Pokemon absolutely insane and have different reactions that you can take photos of. Although for the flute, you don't score points to earn that. You have to take a photo of a Pokemon sign, which is, in other words, a land formation that resembles Pokemon. Some are easy to spot, like the Dugtrio Mountains in the valley, but some take some real time wasting to discover, like the coughing smoke in the volcano. How was I supposed to know where to throw a pest ball in it? Minor complaints aside, the gameplay is fun and well implemented, and it was in the right hands of the right development team. Sure, out of the 151 first generation Pokemon out there, only 63 of them are in the game. But at least they put in the most popular ones. All the legendary bird Pokemon are in it as well as Mew. So I'm satisfied with the number of Pokemon available. The game can be short depending on how good you are with the camera, but it's a rather short game, especially for the year of 1999. There are only around 6 levels total. Some of these levels are unlocked by using a specified item in a certain way to unlock an alternate exit that leads to a new level. The controls are simple. Use the joystick to move the camera. Hold C to use the camera, and press A to snap a photo while in camera mode. While acquiring certain items, press the down C button to use the flute. Press A while not in camera mode to throw an apple, and press B while not in the camera mode to throw a pester ball. The camera movement has an inverted Y-axis default control, but I believe that can be changed in the options menu, so the controls are comfortable for the most part. The music is forgettable, but fits the theme of the level well enough. The only one I can remember off the top of my head is the tunnel level theme, which is odd since although creepy, it's only 4 whole notes playing over and over. The graphics and land models were good for its time. The land is very lively with the Pokemon running about carefree, and if you wanted to see what Pokemon looks like in 3D, here's your chance. While the textures are dated, the land is still colorful and appealing to look at. The character models are also dated and sometimes blockish, but again, it's not bad for its time. Overall, I would have to give this game a 76 out of 100. I liked it a lot more than Pokemon Stadium. Although I do like Stadium, it just didn't have that sense of adventure from the handheld games that Pokemon Snap provided in its own way. While not in my top 20 Nintendo 64 games, Pokemon Snap was a fun experience with a high replay value and is more than welcome to occupy my 21st space.
This shouldn't have worked so well. I mean, a Pokemon console spin-off where you take pictures of Pokemon and don't catch them or battle them, it should have been a huge failure like Hey You Pikachu, also for the Nintendo 64. But it didn't. If anything, it actually brought more fans to the franchise. I would like to give a very special thanks to Collins Van Gordon for suggesting this title. I sure do hope I did this title justice. I can easily see why some people consider Pokemon Snap to be one of their favorite Nintendo 64 games. While I wish the game was longer, I had a lot of fun with it. It's a great way to spend your weekend, and I'm glad I gave it a try. Again, I am not the biggest fan of the Pokemon franchise, but I do enjoy their handheld games, especially from the first 2 generations, which I'll get to at some point, but probably sometime in the future. But it'll take a little while to play, so we're talking way into the future. I've never played Pokemon Puzzle League, Mystery Dungeon, or Rescue Ranger. But maybe someday, like when the Nintendo DS becomes a retro handheld and the 11th generation of console gaming has come. So maybe in 20 years. Comment question! What is your favorite Pokemon generation? Please reply in the comments section below. And please, don't argue with each other about which Pokemon generation is better. They're all good. They all have something special about them. So I want to hear from all of you. Thank you all for watching. I am Alec, the SideQuest Gamer. And if you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to stay awesome.